At 6:37 on the morning of July 10, 2025, the radar aboard the USS Samson flickered to life. A small, sleek boat appeared on the screen. No flag, no radio, cutting through the waves with uncanny speed. Dark packages tumbled into the sea behind it, disappearing into the Pacific's vastness. A routine patrol had transformed instantly into a high-stakes encounter. The crew froze for a moment, eyes locked on the display, sensing that what seemed like a shadowy smuggling attempt could unravel into a chase of calculated risks. Every second now mattered. Detection and initial response. At 6:37 a.m. on July 10, 2025, the USS Samson's radar suddenly picked up a small, unidentified boat. No flag, no radio signals. The craft skimmed across the water, tossing dark packages behind it. For the crew in the quiet radar room, the routine patrol had just turned urgent. They quickly confirmed the vessel's shape, a sleek, wave-hugging design built for speed. It ignored radio calls and stayed silent, making the situation tense and unpredictable. The forward cameras captured the wake and the scattered bundles floating behind. Such behavior is a classic tactic. Smugglers throwing cargo overboard to destroy evidence. These go-fast boats are often used by cartels transporting drugs from Colombia through the Eastern Pacific. Intelligence shows that routes like this carry up to 2 tons of cocaine daily, and spotting a vessel early can prevent hundreds of millions in illegal gains. Commander Matthew Harding quickly assessed the situation. He ordered the MH-60R Seahawk helicopter into the air and put the Samson on condition for 3 battle stations. Alarms sounded softly, signaling the crew to lock down key areas and prepare for action. This response was part of the larger Pacific Watch program, run by U.S. Northern Command, which focuses on interdicting drug shipments from Central America before they reach U.S. shores. The operation combined speed, intelligence, and precision. Harding knew acting fast could make the difference between seizing the cargo or letting it vanish into the ocean. The MH-60R, with its radar and infrared sensors, would track the boat from above, while the destroyer coordinated with the helicopter and prepared boarding teams. Every move had been drilled many times, balancing force and caution to avoid injuries while maximizing results. This early moment set the stage for a high-stakes operation where planning, technology, and quick decision-making would decide the outcome. Chase and engagement. As the Seahawk lifted off, the small boat reacted immediately. It sped up, tossing more bundles into the water, trying to evade capture. The helicopter's sensors picked up the movement, and the pilots stayed close, circling the suspect craft to maintain visual contact. Warnings were broadcast in English and Spanish, urging the vessel to stop, but it continued to zigzag and ignore all commands. With safety and control in mind, the door gunner engaged the engines with precise disabling fire. Short bursts from the M240 machine gun struck the outboard motors, shutting them down without sinking the boat. Smoke rose as the craft slowed, leaving it drifting helplessly. This technique is designed to stop the chase while minimizing danger to both the crew and the suspects. Every movement relied on hours of practice, from helicopter maneuvers to firing accuracy. Missing a shot could allow the vessel to escape or scatter evidence into the sea. Meanwhile, the crew on the Samson coordinated with the helicopter. Data from radar, infrared, and navigation systems flowed into the combat center, giving Commander Harding a complete picture. The combined approach of air and sea power shows how the Navy adapts its tools from traditional combat to law enforcement roles at sea. Once the boat was disabled, boarding teams prepared for interception. RHIB boats launched quickly, carrying U.S. Navy VBSS teams and Coast Guard law enforcement officers. They reached the vessel in minutes, giving clear commands in both languages. 2 men were detained without incident, and crews began recovering floating bales of cocaine. Quick testing confirmed the cargo's authenticity, and careful handling ensured evidence stayed intact. This stage highlighted teamwork, precision, and discipline. The crew balanced speed with caution, proving that trained forces can respond effectively to smuggling operations. The actions not only stopped a major shipment, but also reinforced the Navy's ability to enforce maritime law safely and efficiently. Boarding and seizure. Once the boat drifted, the VBSS, visit, board, search, and seizure teams moved in. RHIBS launched from USS Samson, cutting across the water with urgency but control. Crew members shouted clear instructions in English and Spanish, telling the two men on board to kneel with their hands raised. Compliance was immediate, and no shots were fired. Teams wore full safety gear, carrying rifles but keeping triggers at the ready, while focusing on recovering the scattered bales. Poles and hooks were used to lift bundles from the surface, some floating, some partially submerged. Each package was handled carefully, and quick on-site tests confirmed the white powder was cocaine. The combined Navy and Coast Guard team worked seamlessly, stacking the 47 recovered bales aboard the ship. Communication was constant. The helicopter hovered above, scanning the surrounding area to prevent any escape or interference. Every movement was deliberate, to preserve evidence for later legal action. The officers documented the operation with photos, samples, and statements to ensure a strong chain of custody. By the end of the boarding, the vessel was empty and the suspects subdued. The crew had turned a high-speed chase into a controlled seizure without injuries. The success highlighted the value of teamwork, preparation, and clear protocols. Every kilo recovered was a step toward cutting off the flow of illegal drugs, demonstrating how skill and coordination at sea can disrupt major criminal operations far before they reach shore. Assessment and destruction of the vessel. With the bales secured and the suspects in custody, attention turned to the empty boat. USS Samson's team quickly assessed the craft. Its fiberglass hull was badly damaged, engines destroyed, and there were no working pumps or safety equipment. Towing it back would be risky. The vessel could break apart in open water or drift into shipping lanes, creating hazards for commercial and fishing vessels. Commander Harding consulted with his officers. The safest choice was controlled destruction. Explosive charges were carefully placed at the stern, while the MH-60R hovered overhead to monitor the area. The charges were small and precise, designed to sink the boat without creating large waves or attracting unnecessary attention. Crew members removed any remaining items of value, like fuel canisters and navigation gear, before setting the charges. At 10:12, the controlled detonation went off. The boat sank quietly, leaving only small bubbles on the surface. The operation avoided damage to the surrounding waterway and posed no risk to other ships. The crew confirmed that the area was clear and that no floating debris remained that could endanger traffic. This step completed the mission. It showed the Navy's ability to handle unexpected hazards safely and efficiently. By removing the vessel, they prevented potential accidents and ensured that the success of the interdiction could be fully preserved without further complications. Impact and strategic significance. The sinking of the suspect boat marked more than just the end of a single chase. Every seizure of drugs has a ripple effect on criminal networks. That 560-kilogram load would have brought tens of millions of dollars to cartel operations. Removing it disrupted cash flow, slowing down purchases of weapons, fuel, and bribes. Each interception forces these groups to reroute shipments, take riskier paths, and spend more on decoys or faster boats. Operations like this also send a clear message. Smugglers learn that open waters are no longer safe. The combination of ships, helicopters, and intelligence sharing shows that the U.S. can spot threats far from the coastline. This layered approach raises the cost and danger of illegal runs, discouraging some operations entirely. Analysts note that coordinated patrols, like Pacific Watch, have doubled the number of vessels intercepted compared to just a few years ago. Beyond financial hits, these missions protect communities. Every kilo kept off the streets means fewer drugs reaching cities, lowering potential violence and addiction rates. By working alongside the Coast Guard, the Navy ensures legal procedures are followed, securing evidence that holds up in court. That balance of speed, precision, and law enforcement makes interdictions effective on multiple levels, combining tactical success with long-term strategic impact. The crew's actions highlight how naval power adapts to new threats. From tracking fast boats to safely destroying them, every step shows the value of preparation, coordination, and measured action. These operations shape the larger fight against organized crime. With the boat neutralized and the cocaine secured, the USS Samson and its team returned to patrol, their mission complete. But the work was never-ending. Every successful interception strengthens the safety of communities and sends a warning to smugglers that the sea is watched. The operation also shows how technology, training, and teamwork come together to solve complex problems without unnecessary risk. As drug traffickers adapt, naval and Coast Guard units continue evolving, using smarter tools and better coordination. Each day on patrol builds experience, strengthens strategy, and keeps the oceans safer. In this quiet victory, preparation met opportunity, and lives were protected.